A lot of the brands we talk about have products that act as a representative to their core philosophy. Not Visvim. Each Visvim product is simply the story of its own creation.
Push. Push. Product. Push. Product. Push. 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 Product. Push.
What does Visvim mean? Nothing. It's a made-up word that was plucked out of the Latin dictionary. The words vis and vim were combined because it looked cool. What does Visvim do? They make footwear, menswear, women's wear, home goods, and coffee. Nothing elaborate past that. If you want to know every detail about the brand, we'd have to stop the video right here. It's very direct. Visvim, as a brand, is so simple and singular. The real heart and soul of Visvim lives in each one of its individual products. Each item they make is a living, breathing, one-off story, and that's why Visvim matters. Nakamura Hiroki started Visvim in 2000 after leaving his 8-year design position at Burton Snowboards Japan. Hiroki is from Tokyo, and he came up making all the right fashion connections. As a young man, Hiroki had ambitions of being an outdoorsman. He would spend time in Alaska camping, snowboarding, and feeling the pull of nature and fashion. Even though he was in the great outdoors, he wanted a look that was as in balance as the ecosystem. Northern Alaska brought him in touch with many local indigenous groups. Hiroki was exposed to lives and communities that had lived in their ways for countless centuries. Their ornaments had true meaning, their tools served true purpose, and their clothing was worn for two reasons: to function for their body and their culture. Certain clothes served the purpose of actual living, while others were ceremonial. These garments weren't made for the purpose of consumerism. Rather, they were made for the individual, to serve their purpose for as long as possible. This sentiment never left Hiroki, and he took Alaska back to Tokyo. In our video on James Jebbia and Supreme, we touched on the profound dedication that the Tokyo youth have for fashion, especially authentic American fashion. Whether it's 90s New York skate style or post-war workwear, Japanese kids were all over it. Hiroki brought a new flavor: Native Alaskan. Hiroki was even given inspirational direction from a legendary Tokyo street fashion architect, Fujiwara Hiroshi. Fujiwara knew of Nakamura's fondness for all things Native American, so he suggested Hiroki try building out a shoe to match a pair frequently worn by Terry Hall of the British new wave band Fun Boy 3. With that, the Visvim FBT sneaker was born. The design was a mix of old and new. It was a native moccasin with a modern sole. The novelty is what initially made it take off, but the FBT's ascent in popularity and price was for a completely different reason: the materials and workmanship. Hiroki used the highest grade leathers and suedes, hand stitching and beadwork, and natural vegetable dyes. He originally sought to make them light and supple, like his inspirations. Hiroki once went to Lapland, Finland, to learn the shoemaking techniques of the Sami. When a woman made him a pair stuffed with hay, Hiroki knew he had to recreate the experience for a new generation. Hiroki's shoes used calfskin, deerskin, and other meticulously sourced materials. They began as Visvim's staple pieces, finding popularity within the growing sneaker scene. Visvim shoes are noted for their continuous raise in price with each released version, due to the increase of material quality. As time went on, Visvim was seen on Kanye West, John Mayer, and Jerry Lorenzo. The popularity was beginning to skyrocket. But Hiroki didn't stop at sneakers. Visvim is reportedly one of the highest quality clothing brands on earth.
I have studied a lot about fabrics and materials as we develop our collection. Basic concept behind the product is the same. I wanted to make a good product. As I learn more about construction, as I develop more shoes, I'm like, yeah, like that's light shoes is great, but also I would enjoy shoes last long time, or like I'm also like discovering myself as I discover product. I would like to do with my team as a brand. I think I would like to make something last long. That is a big part of my joy, which I own the product. We can push the product to be better. We want to push the product to the next level.
If the footwear wasn't nuanced enough, the garments took Nakamura's dedication even further. The denim is woven from organic cotton on traditional looms, then hand-dyed using natural living bacteria. All of the fabric that Visvim uses is made in-house from traditional methods. The raw materials come from the same lands that people have shared with nature for thousands of years. Navajo textiles are sewn together using Ainu tribal techniques. Mud and clay minerals are used to color animal hides. 99% of mainstream clothing that resembles native styles usually come from factories in places like China, India, or Honduras. Not Visvim. Visvim comes from someone's hands in Japan, using techniques from France and materials from New Mexico. Each piece isn't limited artificially. It's limited because of the time and dedication that goes into the manufacturing process. Hiroki is not doing it to make a luxury statement. He's working to ensure that each piece that comes out is more functional, more eco-friendly, and more well-made than the last. Although Visvim is truly in a class all its own, Nakamura Hiroki does have a few peers. Yvon Chouinard of Patagonia, with his insistence on making less clothes and a smaller eco-footprint. Errolson Hugh of Acronym and his obsession with making the most tactical and high-functioning clothing on the planet. And most remarkably, Massimo Osti of Stone Island. Osti, like Nakamura, was phenomenally driven to create material-focused product that reinvented fabric and infused individual character into every piece. Visvim is focused on highlighting the exceptional design of traditional folk people. They're trying to apply luxury to timelessness and the natural world, instead of popularity, superficiality, and status. Hiroki has stated that he'd like his clothing to be sought-after vintage pieces in the future. It's as if he's making them to be artifacts that'll be in a museum. So what can we learn from Visvim? 1. Seek out true masters. Hiroki learns from craftsmen that don't make clothes as a career, but as a cultural heritage. 2. Embrace true purpose. Take natural materials and let them bring out your inner balance. 3. Focus on forever. All Visvim products intend to last as long as their ancient inspirations. Visvim understands the purity of nature and those that live closest to it. The natural life takes tremendous focus and dedication, but the reward is a deep appreciation and connection to every thread of existence. Nakamura Hiroki is constantly working with the natural world to find a better way to be as we were always meant to be. That's what it means to push product.
Hey, fuck is you talking about? Fuck is you talking to? I need some help, I keep loving you. One of us just took a L, and the other was just lucky enough for a W. You don't love yourself enough, you don't had it kinda rough. Metamorphosis is tough, this shit is sad. Look at the screen and remember when I was a fan. Shit is coming to an end, I don't wanna see it, son. I remember we was friends, damn, hey. And I remember we was friends, but fuck that shit, I need a better me. And you just turned into a memory, now you an enemy.